Tonight, what I'm going to talk to you about is personal financial management. Now, if you want to be an entrepreneur, it is very important for you to get your house in order before you launch out. The problem that we have in our country is we sort of forgot how our parents or our grandparents got to the point where they were able to afford certain things. What they did to make sure that we were able to go away to college and get an education when they made change, literally, right? So what I'm going to talk to you about is personal financial management. And let me be upfront and tell you right now, don't let the name scare you. We're not going to have a long, boring talk about finances. I'm going to break this down very simplistically. Some of you know this already. Others live it every day, but for whatever reason, you may make some mistakes. So I'm going to try and help you out right now to get you to where you need to be in order to operate business successfully. If you cannot handle your personal expenses, your personal finances, you cannot handle financing a business. Point blank. Is that clear? Okay. So what I want to ask is, or what I'm going to say to you is, what is personal financial management? And personal financial management is simply organizing the way you spend your money. For all intents and purposes, keep in check on your money. You cannot spend more than you make. That is how our grandparents were able to send our parents off to college, because they never spent all they make. Actually, what they did is, if they made $1, they put 50 cents aside. That is something that we don't do today. In personal financial management, one of the first things that you do is you make sure your bills are covered before you do anything else. Okay? All right, so this is the presentation outline. At the end of this presentation, you're going to know how to budget. You're going to know what disposable income is. You're going to know what expenses are. You're going to know what future needs are. You're going to know what future wants are. You're also going to learn what discretionary income is. You're going to learn what poverty is. And some of you are going to have a revelation tonight when I really tell you what poverty is. And we're going to speak very briefly about financial wellness. So if you have a piece of paper, please take notes. Budgeting. We spoke about what budgeting is already, right? Can anyone tell me what budgeting is? Okay, exactly. So I gave you the answer already. I'm asking the question. Let's on the count of 3. What is budgeting? Planning how you spend your money. Yes. Okay. So planning how to spend or save your money is basically budgeting, okay? Personal budgeting entails listing your revenue and expenses as well as your intended savings. Why am I throwing savings in there? Well, you'll see in a few minutes. Why should you budget? Can anyone tell me why? Is budgeting a waste of time? So why should you? Control? Excellent. Any other input? Amen. Okay. So the reason why you budget is simply this. If you fail to prepare, then you're prepared to fail. You heard this already tonight, right? Okay. A budget is like a roadmap. It helps you to get where you want to go financially. How many of you go to an island or another country, rent a car, never been there before, and you want to go to this hotel from the airport? Never been there before. How do you get there after you would have rented the car? You need a map or a GPS. You need something to tell you how to get there, right? Well, financially, a budget is your map. It tells you how to get where you need to go financially. Understood? So you need to budget in order to achieve your financial goals. In essence, budgeting is setting your financial goals. How do you budget? The basic concept of personal budgeting is very simple. Don't let anyone try to complicate it. I know you might have been in financial seminars where people, they tell you, well, the assets and liabilities and the consequences of the financial predicament that you're particularly in. No! Plain and simple. Income versus expenses. How much you make, how much you have to spend. Budgeting. Okay? Now, it's very important to keep it simple. For those of you who are computer literate, you can do your little spreadsheet or get your little program to do your budgeting. But honestly and truly, a piece of paper and a pencil is the best way. And you take that piece of paper and you put it in your wallet or whatever that you keep on you so that you can stick to that budget. Whenever you decide you need to get outside of that budget, you pick that paper up and you say, well, if I can splurge on steak instead of pork chop tonight with this date on this gal because she look like she expensive, I gonna have to cut some of this gas money or cut the barber but that's how, no, don't cut the light bill. So the reason why I said a piece of paper and the pencil is the most simple way that you monitor your budget, or the most simple way you prepare your budget, the easier it is for you to stick with it. If it's complicated, if you got to go boot up your computer or your tablet or whatever, you ain't get checked for that the way you should. So how do you budget? Well, tell you about the piece of paper and the pencil. Now, list all of your revenue or income. Now, can anyone tell me what's revenue and what's income? Is there a difference? Yeah, no? Actually, there's no difference between revenue and income. Everybody know what expenses are? Okay. So, what's a future need? Future need, somebody, come on. Help me out. What's a future need? Okay. What's a future want? Clothes is a future want? Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. Girlfriend is a future want? I can leave that right there. Prioritize each item in the above categories. Now, I want y'all to be very, very clear. All right? Each of these categories, income, expenses, needs, and wants. Those are very, very important when it comes down to budgeting. And oftentimes, we are unable to properly differentiate between a want and a need. So, revenue is simply this: payment, any form of income, payment from salary, job, allowance from parents, significant other, family, friend. So if your sweetheart or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your husband or your wife give you a little stipend every week or every month, when he or she get paid? Every month. Now, not when he gets some and he feeling good, or when she don't have a headache and they're stressed. If you get it on a consistent basis, income. Let me be very clear with y'all. I could win $500 a night from Allen Luck. Listen, could ain't actual. That's not income. So you don't budget what you could win. But I can tell you one thing. If you was buying number, that's definitely an expense. And you need to budget that expense. So income, and I jumped a bit ahead, but rental income, investment income, anything, any consistent form of money coming in is revenue, okay? And I'm breaking this down for a reason. There are two types of income, and this is where we get in trouble. We don't understand the difference between disposable income and discretionary income for the most part. And I say this, being a career banker 25 years, one of my biggest issues when it comes time to review a loan application is people mix up disposable income and discretionary income. So tonight I want to set it clear for you. Disposable income is your income from all of your sources. Everything that comes in, that's your disposable income. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. I see one of my mentors in the banking, Andrew, over to the corner playing incognito, but don't answer this question, Andrew. Disposable income. What do you do with disposable income? If you didn't hear what she said dispose of it. What do you do with disposable income? Spend it? Spend it. All right. That's the general consensus? Disposable income, you spend. That's the general consensus. All right. Discretionary income is your income less your recurrent expenses. This is the money you can do anything you want with. See, disposable income is everything that's coming in. It's disposable. Very carefully, I want you to pay attention to this. It's disposable to the point where you have to dispose of your expenses first. So when you get paid, you can't go buy new Jordans or buy a brand new, Louis bag or what? Red bottoms, Remy, whatever. You can't just, I get paid. First, we're going to take it. No, that's not how it works. When you get paid, your expenses, rent, mortgage, school fees, bank payments, credit cards, light, water, those monies must come out first. After you would have taken those out, made those payments, then you have what's called your discretionary income. With that, if you have a sweetheart, you could give a little something. Listen, I'm not condoning sweethearting. I ain't condoning buying numbers, but it's a reality. And if you do have those things, and I'm sure nobody in this room living like that, but if by chance you are, it is a part of your budget, and you better be true to yourself, because if you ain't true on this budget, it ain't gonna work. Some of y'all can learn tonight. If you all have sweetheart, y'all can't afford them, but we can talk about it in a few minutes. Expenses. Number one, sweetheart. Allen Luck. Those are all expenses. Ladies, you go to get your nails done on a regular basis, expense. You need to add that in your budget. Gentlemen, you go to the barber twice a week, once a week, whatever, expense, you add that. Groceries, gas for the car, children lunch money, your lunch money. All of those are things that you must budget for. You need to list them, itemize them in your budget. Okay? That's clear? Any cash payment for goods and services. Since we are all adults and we're all being real, so yeah, this is on topic. Listen, when you leave that little change on the nightstand, on a regular basis, budget for it. That's the truth. Now, future needs are actual necessary items. These are things that you definitely need. Right now, if you're living at home with your parents, you're planning to get married, you know that you're going to need to save for a home or an apartment. So, future needs, you start to save for your down payment for your house, or you start to save for your first and last month rent for your home. Need. Something that you need to do, because you need to move out. You can't bring a man or a woman under your parents' house, right? Well, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't. But anyway, saving a future need. If you work in the hotel, You know that there's a slow period in the hotel where you may go on 1 day or 2 days. When things are good in the hotel and you're making a whole bunch of money, you need to start putting some money aside so when things get slow, you have a reserve. That's a future need. All right? Now, again, if your car breaks down, you need to have some money set aside so you can get it fixed. That's a future need. So those are things that you also have to put money aside for. You look into the future and you look at possibilities, what could happen, and you prepare financially for those possibilities. Those are future needs. Now, we just got needs and wants confused. Wants are things that you could do without, but you want to have them, right? You'd like to go on vacation during the summer. Now, some people say, well, I need to go on vacation. Well, on your job, you need to take vacation, but taking vacation don't necessarily mean you need to go away. And our people, for the love of God, please stop borrowing to go on vacation. Stop. If you're going to borrow money to purchase an asset to increase your net worth. Now, future want. I love this one. And plenty times I see the fella come in with his wife and, Chief, what happened? Man, this woman want me to buy a new car. I said, but you just got a car 3 years ago. Yeah, but the neighbor got a new car and I'll be damned if I don't get one. I need a new car. Miss, you need your head examined. You don't need no new car. You ain't having no problems with the car. The car's still running perfectly, yada, yada. But you know what? She putting pressure on the man. He trying, anyway. There's a difference between a need and a want. If the car breaking down and your wife working nights, you don't want her to get stranded on the side of the road, then she need a new car. But if the car running, that's not a need, that's a want. I'm just giving you all an example. Oh, I love this one. So, and this don't happen in my office. I work in an office where about 95% of my employees are female. So this don't happen in my office, but I'm sure it happened in some of your offices. So you go away, and your significant other takes you on this beautiful shopping trip during your vacation. You come back, and the ladies come to work every week, every day for the week. They got on a new outfit, you know. Your wife come home, the old heifer, parading around on all these new clothes. I need a new wardrobe. You trying to get something, and she telling you about. Now, fellas, I know you all understand, and women, you all gonna deny it, but fellas, listen. We need our things, but we realize if we don't give her the right answer about that wardrobe, shop closed. Our budget, out the window, because she getting a new wardrobe. Please, for the love of God, don't let that happen. Women, don't put your husband in that position because the budget, we can hear benefit too. Men, don't fall weak. Just hold on and pray about it. Take a cold shower if you have to. So, most of you would have gotten a piece of paper which is a sample budget. And this is only a sample budget. Some things on this budget would apply to you. Some things on this paper would apply to you, others will not. But here's the thing. This gives you an outline of what you should be looking at when you're preparing your budget. Tithes in church, all the things that you know you pay on a regular basis needs to be listed. When you sit down to prepare your budget, it's not a one-shot deal. I often tell people, take about an hour when you are completely to yourself and you do your first listing. Leave it, go back to it a couple hours or a couple days later, and you will see you missed a whole lot of stuff. And after you make that second revision, leave it again and go back to it. A budget is a work in progress. At the end of the day, based on your income and based on what you want to do in the future, you have to lay out where you want to be at the end of a period. And you know that at the end of the day, the bottom line must remain the bottom line. So if you have to cut some things, if you have to make some changes on the budget, you're going to have to sacrifice. You might have had $100 a month set aside for your hairdo, but you need to buy a new dress. Oh, sorry, you want to buy a new dress. You might have to cut that hairdo out, let your friend do the hairdo to buy the dress. But for the love of God, please don't cut out your bottom line on the budget for that new dress. Oh, wait a minute, I jumped that. What is poverty? Financially speaking, what is poverty? When you're broke? That's poverty? Yeah, you read quick. All right. So, for all intents and purposes, right? We've been bamboozled, misled, run amok, all that other stuff when they talk about poverty. They show us these pictures on TV, these children in Africa and Asia starving, malnourished, bloated stomach, thin legs, all that other stuff, and they said, you know, these folks are in poverty. These send us 19 cents a day and we'll take them out of poverty. Well, financially speaking, those children ain't in no poverty. Them children don't have no income, nor do they have expenses. They straight. Listen to me. When you sit down and you do your budget, and you find out that your expenses exceed your income, you in poverty. That means some of us in this room tonight in poverty. See, you could have people out life with key, living Big Willie style, driving Bentleys, Mercedes, whatever else, in poverty, because they have to borrow consistently to keep that lifestyle up. And at the end of the day, that line of credit is going to diminish and everything will be wiped out from under them. So let me just say this to you. I started out by saying, if you cannot handle your own personal finances, you cannot run a business. We commingle our funds. Money is coming in. Oh, I make $100 today. Okay, let's figure this $100 that you made today out. You made $100 today because you sold something that cost you $50. Then you had to pay 2 employees, each $25 a day. Then you had to pay light, rent, cable TV, gas, because you had to deliver the stuff. But you made $100, right? Really? Y'all understand what I'm saying? And you know what? As business folks, oftentimes our people take the $100 and they go buy drinks. Then payday comes. And what was that? You borrowing to pay, right? So that's how your personal finances, same principle applies when you translate to business. You need to budget, you need to plan, you need to lay out. Okay, if I'm selling this item, or if I'm performing this service and I'm charging this amount, I need to know what is it gonna cost me to seal the deal, to finish the deal. And I have to make sure that whatever the cost is less than what I'm bringing in. Because if it costs me more to perform a job or to sell an item than I paid for it, what are you doing? Poverty, right? So, to make a long story short, and to end my presentation, your financial wellness, personally and in business, is simply ensuring that your financial affairs are in order. You are ensuring that you have a guideline or a roadmap that you follow. You're ensuring that you adhere to this budget and that the proper preparation and execution of your budget is your roadmap to financial wellness or financial success or business success. Remember, if you fail to prepare, then you're preparing to fail. Thank you very much.